You're listening to the PAC Podcast. Be sure to give us a like and follow, and hope you enjoy the episode. We the PAC, this our part, I bet you like that. We them boys putting rugby back on the map. All the scrams gotta go, Rucker rivals let them know. Thank you, Tony, and good afternoon, ladies and Tonys. You're listening to the PAC Podcast, powered by the PAC Athletic Club. If this is your first time joining us, we're a touring rugby club and reformed MEMEdia platform for the players. We're the voice of the people, and we're simply here to make rugby great again, one meme at a time. This episode is proudly brought to you by Cheeky Biltong, the only time a cheeky snack is play on. So head to cheekysnacking.com. Now, we've got a special guest on today, but before I introduce him, please welcome our regulars, Tino Masese and Chevich Vea. But please, making his debut on the PAC Podcast, he might become a regular, so watch out. He is the one and only Lebanese Lamborghini out of the Randwick Rugby Club. Please welcome Christian Yasmin.
Thank you. I feel honoured. I had to move a lot of things to get onto this podcast. Plenty of media commitments. Just had to check the schedule, and I've got a nice block. So honoured to be on here. Can't wait. It's been a long time coming, actually. Yeah. It took a while for Dave's data plan to reset and actually get a text through to him. It just kept bouncing, and I'm like, "Can you answer?" But no, I'm here. Thank you.
No, thanks. But we'll get into your entire story after this. But we always start the podcast with a thank you, Tony, and a scram. So we'll start with the positive. Dave, you want to give an example? What have you been grateful for in the last week, or what have you been thankful for?
My thank you, Tony, or what I've been grateful for this weekend. He's actually our special guest tonight. I'll be nice to him for making time in his busy schedule, fixing teeth, running a business, training third grade for Waverley Old Boys to jump on the pod. So I'm thank you, Tony, and grateful for Christian, the Lebanese Lamborghini Yasmin, for jumping on and making time.
Thank you.
So that's my thank you, Tony. Grateful.
Very grateful. Now, Tino, what have you been thankful for?
I'm thankful. Well, look, what I'm thankful for this week is there's been a lot of drama around TikTok. I don't know if you've heard about this plot twist cast, I'm going to call it. Look, if you haven't watched it, watch it. It's better than maths. I think this is just next level schizophrenia. I don't know what to call this behavior disorder or what. I don't know what it is, but the only reason why it's interesting to me, and I'm thankful, because we all have similarities, boys?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the skin colour.
I don't know what you're talking about at all.
Yeah, what's going on, mate? A bit of context to the people that don't have TikTok, like Dave. He's banned, that he wants to be on it.
Look, all I got to say is you do your own research, you do your own scroll on TikTok. It's pretty much a chick who's had a baby daddy, has kicked her current mama out, that's pregnant, out of the house, and accepted this other baby mama that's got a whole level of her own baggage, and she's coming back to her first baby dad or whatever it is. But her current baby daddy that she has pretty much told her has left her 9 months pregnant, pretty much. And
she sounds like someone farming baby mamas, but okay.
Yeah. When you talk about it, it actually does remind me of a bit like Dave and his last relationship. Chill. He'll tell me to cut that out. Anyways, Yaz, anything you'd be grateful for, mate?
I think I had a bit of a thought about this, but what I was really grateful for was that southerly change at 1 a.m. on Sunday that really took that 38-degree heat out. Because I got no aircon in my apartment, believe it or not. It's expensive. Dentistry, it's like, you trust me, we don't make as much money as you think. So no aircon, just the fans. And yeah, man, by like 1 a.m., that breeze just rolled right in, and I was like, thank God. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the weather change. Because otherwise wouldn't have slept.
Because obviously the boys are from Brisbane and they get that normal heat normally, and we got it on Saturday and Sunday. They used to. We got it on Saturday and Sunday, and they dead said could not survive on Sunday. Nella wasn't even. Sorry, name dropping my mates here. I let myself into his house on Sunday to sleep in the aircon.
Oh, mate.
It was brutal. It was brutal.
Yeah, it was the struggle street here on the weekend, and just to everyone that played rugby on Saturday in that heat. So I survived. I'm also grateful for that.
Grateful. My grateful is we're a week out from Hong Kong. Be leaving on the Sunday, but grateful for all the player sponsors, all the sponsors. That's why Yaz is on here. He is one of the player sponsors, but we'll get into that in our Hong Kong update. But Dave already brought it up. He name dropped his best friend, and this is my first scrams leading into everyone's scrams for the week. He reminded us last week, but Dave's been raving on about Daniela Tupou, Wallaby. I don't know how many caps, but Dave can tell you how many caps he's played for the Wallabies. Raving on, I got Nella on. He's been raving on for about 2 months now. And today I opened up the YouTubes, and what do I see? Nella wearing a PAC cap. He's got the PAC cap on the table, and he's on another competitor podcast, and it was a very good podcast interview. So Dave, you are my scrams forever for the whole entire year, mate. But you want to get into your scrams for the week?
My scrams for the week was my performance on the weekend. I tried to. Club trials have started this week. Randwick had their first trial on the weekend out in Camden, 35-degree heat, and I was trying to get out of it and not play any minutes. And I turned out to have to play all 3 games on the weekend, and that was my scrams. And I can tell you there was plenty of walking.
Ooh.
So yeah, my scrams is me playing all 3 grades on the weekend.
Does that mean you played first grade?
I survived. Yeah, trial matches don't count, mate. We don't count them.
Hey, whatever, mate. Whatever. You're the one that messaged me. You were the one that messaged me. Go, oh, freak! I got to play first grade today, mate. So thanks for that message, anyways. But Tino, what are your scrams for the week?
Look, as anything goes, I do have a scram this week, and for those who are invested in Ponzi schemes and pyramid schemes, and sell your contract or sell your program on the internet, Richard. Well, my sponsor fell out for Hong Kong, so I'm glad that Christian's here. How many teeth does Dave need to knock out, just to calculate some costs for an airfare ticket?
I don't know. We're going to start counting, but it's more than one hand.
Nah, that is my scraps of the week to my Charles. Maybe next year.
Maybe next. Hopefully next year, mate. Thank you.
Yeah.
Get a new travel agent.
Well, yeah.
New sponsor.
All right, Yaz, I know you're a positive guy, but any negatives in the last week or so?
I know, it was actually, I had no negatives up until about 3 hours ago, as Dave can attest to. So, my scrams is actually with the official Shoot Shield. I think you guys are the official voice of the Shoot Shield, but the actual Shoot Shield Instagram page. They posted just getting the season going, bit of content, and I made like a cheeky little lighthearted comment. And they decided to delete the whole post. I'm like, all right, fair enough. You know what? Some people just don't get humor. Some people don't get my humor. The 50 people that liked it did, but anyway. And then they decided to double down and repost the same thing, losing all engagement that they had on the previous post. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna post that same comment again. And now they've completely unfollowed me off the page. Yeah, wild day. Yeah, they've unfollowed me. Like, just think how much. So that's my.
Can you put some context? No. Can you put some context onto what the post was and what you said on the post and what your cheeky comment was?
So me, I'm a quick guy on and off the field. So they put they did a video recording of ChatGPT. Can you predict who's going to win the Shoot Shield? Yeah. Right. Anyway, and then I commented, is ChatGPT as accurate at calculating player points as East Rugby Club? And I tagged the East Rugby Club. So I thought it was pretty funny. Apparently it wasn't funny enough that they've went and unfollowed me. So yeah.
Well, not only that, I seen your comment underneath. Someone commented that you'll get blocked now. So I guess they followed through.
Yeah, they haven't blocked me yet because that would be total anarchy if they blocked me. Otherwise, it's like. But yeah, that's
completely.
my
I completely sympathise with Yazzie for the amount of contribution he's had to the Shoot Shield for them to turn around and do that to the Lebanese Lamborghini.
I know.
I think it's
so much unpaid advertising as well. I've given my body for free for this competition, and this is how they repay me. But yeah. Anyway, that's my scrams of the week.
Yeah.
That's So
unfortunate scrams. We are friends.
Unfortunate.
We'll have to check with Ninja over at Shoot Shield, see what's going on, mate. See if we can, mediate this little whatever's going on.
Right.
The hand that feeds you. The hand that feeds you.
Yeah. All right. Now let's get into it. A little Hong Kong update. Proudly brought to you by our major sponsor, APW Group, the experts in expat investments. We have got one of our player sponsors, and he is the player sponsor of our number one draft pick, former Fijian international Teddy Teller, and he will be wearing the Guard Up logo on the back of his jersey, number one. And Yazzie is the representative from Guard Up. We want to also get into his. If you guys don't know, he is probably one of the best wingers in the Shoot Shield in the last few years. But let's get into your little story, mate. We'll start off with introduce yourself, where you're from, and where did you grow up?
So thanks, Yone. That's a very nice little introduction. So my name's Christian Yasmin, obviously unofficially known around the Shoot Shield ranks as the Lebanese Lamborghini, and also known as probably the only Lebanese person to be playing rugby union in Australia, which is quite nice.
True.
So I've come on board as one of the sponsors for, and lucky to get the number one draft pick. So hopefully plenty of exposure for that. Originally was born sort of out west around Hurstville area, and then primarily grew up around Coogee.
Yep.
And fortunate enough to play at Randwick for the last 6 to 7, 8 years and have some pretty good success with them. And at the moment now, currently finally graduated as a dentist. So Dave's been really popping up on my messages like you take insurance, even though he doesn't have insurance. So I don't know what the point of that message is. But yeah, so and then like in the years prior, while still playing footy, started up this mouthguard company, which is a 3D printed sports mouthguard, which is really started to take off, which is quite nice. And obviously a lot of the boys have supported it and got around it. And now having the opportunity to sort of give back and be a bit more commercial in a sense and get the brand out there in a sort of a really highly exposed tournament and, help also your platform and help the players out. Yeah,
mate. Awesome to have you on board. I remember when we put it up and said we're going to close player sponsors soon, anyone, and then you replied, and then I was about to reply to your message the next morning when I got up, and then I seen that you already paid for a player sponsor through the thing. So mate, grateful for having you on board, and we'll definitely Teddy he better put on the show for you in Hong Kong and rep for Guard Up Mouthguards. But we'll go back to when you were a little kid, mate. And then how you ended up playing rugby union. We know Checker, Lebanese as well, and Randwick great. But where did you start playing rugby? Or was it rugby league when you were little?
Believe it or not, actually, I didn't start playing rugby till year 7. So Dad, being Lebanese, really wanted me to pursue soccer.
Yeah.
Funny story about the soccer thing. Actually, when I was at Sydney Uni, my first ever training, because I was a Sydney Uni Colt, and me and Falal Fayanga really best mates. Yeah, I know. Toxic as. But I rocked up to the first training session, so I would have been 18. And we're like there, I've got my boots on and that. And I walk over and he goes to me, he goes, "Oi, soccer training is over on the field just across." Yeah. Which was really nice. So, Flau, if you're hearing this, fuck you. But primarily just played rugby at school. Was lucky to go to Scots. Unlucky to not get a scholarship, unlike Tavita. And didn't really think sort of much of progressing my rugby career. Kind of just went through that GPS system, went into the Colt system at Sydney Uni, which I had a great time, and played a bit of sort of rugby league, reserve grade, and then came to Randwick in 2018, and that's kind of like been my home for the last sort of seven years of my rugby career until now.
All right. And what made you make the move from Sydney Uni to Randwick?
I think I just needed a change, to be honest. I think the context of the environment there, just, coaching and just sort of change and things like that. I needed to Dave. Yes, Dave wanted me to come to Randwick, but I kind of wanted to get out and sort of see what I could do in a different club. Like, I'd had some pretty good success at uni in Colts, made my first grade debut there, but wanted to see what kind of I could do outside of their system, and testament to sort of the product of their environment at Sydney Uni in the program they have. Like, I do sort of credit a lot of the footballer I became sort of now to what I learnt there in those first 3 years. I think I could have gone in a different pathway. And just, wanted to try something, see what was out there. I played a year of league before I went to Randwick, which I think really sort of evolved me physically, and I sort of matured physically as well. Completely different playing group. You got to learn different personalities, so you kind of move out of that bubble, which I think a lot of people get stuck in. And then came to Randwick, and the rest is kind of history now.
Is your playing days, are you hanging up or shield, or are you carrying on?
No, he's not. He's just having a few months off, mate.
Look, he's really put me on the spot here. It's always got me on the podcast. That check hasn't cleared yet. So, look, at the moment, pretty sort of set on not playing in the shoot shield anymore. Just because of, now I'm practicing dentist. It's a bit hard with the commitments, but still playing footy. Actually, a shout out to going to be playing in the Kent World Cup in the subbies comp here in Sydney. Cool. So with the Waverley Rugby Club, which would be nice. Unfortunately, I do feel sorry for anyone that is going to have to play me, because I will most definitely not be holding back. And Wallara colleagues round 2. Look out, that's it's not going to be fun. You can't huddle preview in Kent World Cup, so they're really just going to have to see the team sheet on a Friday. But definitely keen to still play around, and obviously still involved with Randwick and seeing all the boys, and want them to do well.
Yazzie, a quick question for those that obviously you mentioned a couple of rugby leagues, but you have done a Japanese gig as well, professional as well, rugby league, semi-professional, shoot shield. In juggling through all that, your dentistry degree, what sort of, it's a hard balance to do, where you go and fuck, I can easily push myself to go and play professionally rugby union or either rugby league, but then you also have a dentistry degree that you're trying to finish in the same time. How did you find that sort of space, and how did you navigate it in making those decisions?
I think it was tough in the sense of you've got to give 100% to sort of either of them. And, with the dental degree, there's a lot of guys in there, you're sort of competing with the 1% of the 1%. And it's kind of the same with professional rugby. The guys playing super, they are the best of sort of the best players that we have. So for me, it was, and that's the fortunate, I was sort of lucky to do well and sort of have my prime years in a time of the shoot shield, where we're lucky to have it on Stan. Obviously have you guys doing a lot of the social media. So for me, I kind of, as much as I wanted to play super rugby and would have loved to have played higher honours, I think I got the best out of the scenario for what it was in club rugby, and it sort of had the same presence and exposure that you would get in super rugby, but you felt, it was still that sort of club football mentality and tribalism mentality, where you really sort of were indebted to the jersey and playing for Randwick, the rivalries that you have, the games with East, playing with all the different graves and that club aspect. And also just having the boys around you. That's the main thing. Just, I think what goes unnoticed was the support all my teammates had for me, knowing what I was doing outside of footy. So it really made rugby really easy and was sort of my outlet. But yeah, it was hard, very hard. You got to, as we've all played at that level, and that, shoot shield, hospital cup, it is a big commitment. It's probably 1 to 2 training sessions less than what they're doing at the Reds, the Tars, the Brumbies, and obviously financially it's not the same. So you got to really love it, and then
Look, I don't want to deep dive into your look. I just want you to take a look at my teeth, and just from your observation as a dentist, you reckon I did something old there, or just give me some business ideas. You got the Tonga community down there. With your mouth guard start up, do you do custom mouthguard, like colours, or is it just like a new pattern that you've created? Like, what's so good about this mouthguard that you created?
So the main thing with us and kind of what we develop is 3D printed. So other than there's one company over in Europe, they do it as well, but in Australia, no one's sort of been able to put it on the market. The whole actual mouthguard is 3D printed itself. So how you traditionally make mouthguards, you make it over a mold, you cut it, customize it, stuff like that. The benefits of that are it's all software is used to make it. So it's highly customizable and fitted to your mouth. You can make it thicker where you need it to be. You can make it thinner where, you don't need it to sort of be bulky and things like that. It snaps in, so it's easier to talk. And it's really the main thing is custom to the player. Like, it's as customizable as a mouthguard in terms of fit and feel as you're going to get to your traditional ones. That's the main thing.
Yeah, Tino could have used that. You didn't wear a mouthguard, did you, Tino, when you played?
No, I think that's the problem that I have now is I think my teeth are starting to separate. So, while I've got a free consultation, I might as well take one.
I'll get your health insurance after the episode.
Tino asked, before you jumped on the call, Tino was like, is he a bulk bill dentist?
Takes vouchers. It takes vouchers.
You mentioned Japan. You played over in Japan?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to go
Rocket.
after my first year. After my first year at Randwick, I played at the Red Hurricanes in Osaka, NTT Docomo.
Oh,
which was, so it was living like right in the middle of Osaka, which was unreal. Best city in Japan, right in the city. I know some of the other top league teams can sort of be a bit out of the central hub, so being right in a big metropolis was unreal. And just the teammates I had, the experience, how much they love it. Got to play with Marty Banks, which was unreal, and spend the majority of the season with him, which was good fun. He's, the legends are true. He is definitely the man. But was unreal experience, unreal experience to sort of be able to have that.
I see you watch over. Do you have is it your brother that plays for the Denver Broncos?
Yeah, believe it or not, I'm actually not the most talented out of the three of my brothers. The young one, who was another one that Australian rugby let go, actually. He's currently on the Denver Broncos. So he's one of the tight ends for them. He just finished up his rookie year, and he's living over in Denver, obviously training the professional NFL lifestyle and loving it. He's very, very lucky, very proud of him. I always like to show him off, but he's really, really sort of got a great opportunity and done something not many people have done, especially from Australia.
Yeah. Would you have gone over? Are you an NFL fan?
I'm a massive NFL fan. I think that's kind of how he got into it, because it was always in and around our family and watching it. So having it in the back of his mind, I think that's kind of where the opportunity came and when he got it out of school. But look, you kind of say, you could have got over, but funny when you sort of get an insight into how it actually is, and seeing how talented a lot of these guys are. Like, there really is such a specific sport and specified in your position. And, credit to sort of any of the boys. I know Jordan Pataya's going over, and like, he's someone, you really want to succeed and you wish him luck. But it is so hard and just so cutthroat of how it is. And just, it's more the competition of people, like the athletes you're really competing against. And it is like do or die. And these guys will give everything for it. So, to say you could go over when you haven't been in it, you'd be like, I could do it. It's contact sport. But in the context now, it's definitely a lot harder than people give it credit for.
Yeah. And you mentioned you left the Street Shield, but what are you gonna miss most about that 3 p.m. kickoff?
Just specifically, I'm going to miss running onto Coogee Oval. That distinct sort of sunset that sort of comes over between 3 and 5. Seeing that south stand at Coogee Oval was probably one of the best things ever. And being a winger, you kind of pocket in that corner, and it just half the game you're getting praised from the boys, and then when you swap sides, you're getting abused for the other half. just the day, you know, I love going down there at 1 o'clock, 12:30, seeing third grade, clap on second grade. I don't get there early enough for fourth grade. Sorry, Toledo. But
damn it.
I send you a text message. Good luck. And just the community involvement, like if people are so heavily invested in these shoot shield sides and have been there for so long, whether it's like new supporters, the juniors, but then, you know, guys that have been there for like 30, 40 years. It's how much it means to them. And winning the comp a few years ago, you really saw how much it meant to them. You know, that wider random community. But just gonna miss that. You know,
as mentioned earlier, well travelled, both codes, rugby union and rugby league. Some of the coaches you've come across. Obviously, you were involved with Czech when you did the Lebanon Rugby League. Who were you as your coach in Japan?
I had Michael Brewer, who was an ex-All Black. So I had Michael Brewer as our head coach, and John Preston, who was ex-All Black as well, the Highlanders.
That's right.
So we had a really, really good coaching staff there. Taught me a lot.
Yeah.
Taught me a lot, definitely.
More of our Australian audience. How did you find working with Czech? I think you probably cut from the same cloth, sort of outsiders of rugby union, being Lebanese, and I mean, I look from afar, and Czech's probably someone quite impressive with the stuff he does, and I know that Czech doesn't need to coach. He coaches because he loves coaching and he loves seeing players get better or teams change overnight. Type thing. What was your experience with Czech like as a coach?
I think the first thing you sort of have when you see him, and like if you haven't met him for the first time, is just the presence he has. You know, he's not the most tactical coach in a sense. Like a lot of coaches will sort of harp on detail, strategy, you know, have these amazing sort of attacking schemes and whatnot. He's kind of like the dad you really don't want to disappoint, but you also know he's going to smack you. So he's kind of like an ethnic dad in a sense. But he just knows how to galvanize his players. He really knows how to find a unified message in that locker room specific to the scenario of the game. I mean, he took the Lebanon side to the quarterfinals and he barely ever coached league. Yeah. You know, it just sort of shows his ability and it shows sort of how important the mental side of footy is. You know, if you can be as talented as you want, you have the best players that you want. But if everyone's sort of there for the common goal and mentally locked in and staying in it, and his ability to do that, I think he's definitely the best I've ever been around by far. But also, you look at his track record and guys that have sort of been under him, and they all say the same thing. But he's he's a phenomenal coach, phenomenal man, phenomenal person, operator.
In saying that, who is the best coach you've had? And you don't have to say Checker. He's not watching.
The best coach I've had. Oh, honestly, I think I've had a lot of, like, obviously Hoylesy I put up there as one of the, sort of the best coaches as a coach of the team and got us to where we wanted. Probably my favorite coach. And he would say this the same thing. He was actually one of the backs coaches when I was at Sydney Uni, and funny enough, we didn't get along, and he was our assistant coach at Randwick in the backs, Gary Cowley, who's phenomenal strategy sort of coach, backline moves, understanding, and really molded me into a player, especially the last 4 or 5 years. And just, I think for me, he's definitely probably my favorite coach, 100%. Gary Cowley, former Samoan international.
That's right, yeah.
9 for Samoa, yeah. No, so highly credible. But yeah, definitely Gary Cowley and obviously Hoylesy. You know, I've got so much love for Hoylesy winning a comp.
It's a shame that the boys didn't pick you in the Hong Kong Tens. You would have caught up with Gary over in Hong Kong.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. It's funny you guys mention that. That's another message. But it's smart, tactical. Like, obviously, you can't have like a sponsor and a player. It's kind of a conflict of interest, so it's understandable. It's kind of like a bit of the pyramid scheme. That pyramid scheme, money just changing hands, but not actually doing anything.
In saying that, are you going to leave yourself open to future tours? We've got a lot of tours coming up overseas as well. We just want to make sure the coach, he'll be watching, and if not, we're going to clip this up and make sure that are you keen for overseas tours?
Oh man, I love to. The thing is, I tried to send my highlights to the coach, but like email only lets you send like 15 megabytes. I'm like, so he's the WeTransfer, so you can download like the full gigabyte worth of highlights. But it hasn't been, but the link hasn't been downloaded yet. So I don't know if I sent it to the wrong email. But that's all right. Coach, I'm here. Don't you need me? The Lamborghini is fully serviced and ready to go, even though you don't want to take it to Hong Kong. But that's all right.
Oh, we might have to save it for Dubai then, mate. That'll be, mate. We'll do rapid fire. All three of us will go one question each, but it's got to be rapid fire questions and rapid fire answers. All right. Starting with favorite player you played with.
Jackson Mohi.
No.
He's my favorite. He's my number one.
Name your back three Wallabies. 15, 14, 11.
Jorgo, 15. Dylan Peach on one wing. And I'd want to put Swali on the other, but I want to put him at 13, so I'm going to go Kells.
Oh, supposed to put yourself in there.
Nah, I don't. I'm not. I haven't paid my rego, so technically, I'm not insured. You know.
Fair enough.
Favorite snack?
Ooh, favorite snack.
He's a snacker.
I'm a big snacker. That's why I got the type 1 diabetes. Another fun fact.
It's actually a fun fact.
It actually is a fun fact. So I was medically compromised when I was making all those line breaks for those years. I reckon my favorite snack, Tim Tams. I'm like, it's my kryptonite, Tim Tams.
Okay, we'll make sure
Tim Tams.
we'll put in cheeky biltong instead of Tim Tams. Dave just messaged me while you were saying your favorite teammate and said, "Who's your favorite hooker teammate?" That was a hooker.
Favorite hooker? It's so hard because I've been blessed with like playing with so many Tongan hookers. Obviously playing plenty of games, but look, I want to say Lau, but I guess I got to say Dave because they're kind of like 2 in 1, you know. I mean, the thing is, the good thing with Dave is because the good thing with Tavita was like if I said try and overthrow it, it was really easy for him to do.
Just wasn't straight.
Like you just called line out at the back, and then I just knew to run onto it. So because you knew it was going to go like a meter. But look, I think my favorite would be Big David, definitely my favorite Polynesian hooker.
There you go. You'd rather him on your side than on the other side. There you go.
Hey, that's true. Stay friends.
Right.
Stay friends.
The back side or the front side? Which side
Don't be naughty.
Favorite part about dentistry so far?
I'd like to say the cash, but nah, jokes. Probably seeing patients and helping patients out. That's definitely why I did it. It's quite challenging technically as well, but also being able to solve patients' problems, get them out of pain, making them feel better. That's definitely for me the biggest upside of the industry and the profession.
If you had to take someone on an island and you're not allowed family members, not allowed your girlfriend, your fiance, whatever, who would you take? One person.
Careful if you got a missus.
Ooh, one person. Oh, I don't know. Can I take my dog?
It'll help you survive.
As long as you don't eat it.
Yeah. Nah, let's not go there. That's a tough one. I'll probably take. I don't know. Does Dave want me to say Dave again? Because at least if he'll go before me, so that's at least food for a month.
Give us someone else.
I'll be hopeless.
I reckon
I'll
take my good mate. Actually, I might take Jackson again.
Jackson.
Jackson Mohi. Yeah, I would take him actually because he'd be entertaining. He'd be entertaining at least, and
who would you take?
This is not about me, mate. But my question, my final question: favorite athlete outside of rugby?
Ooh, favorite athlete outside of rugby. I don't even have any athletes I like in rugby other than myself. Believe it or not. I wouldn't call them favourite. Like, I like blokes that play rugby, but I haven't got anyone's posted on it. I haven't got anyone's posted on the wall. Favourite athlete would, for me, I've always Deion Sanders. Sanders. He was always my number. We share the same birthday. That's why I like him a lot. And there's a lot of the similarities in his personality and just him being him. He's definitely my favourite athlete.
Good shout.
My last one. Are we going to see you back in the Galloping Greens this year?
No comment.
Hear that? I'll take that. Yeah, that's
no
not
comment.
a no.
No comment.
Thank you.
All right.
Money's good at Waverley.
Nice. Eastern suburbs. Yeah, it's good. Good package.
Nice. All right. Thanks for jumping on. But before we let you go, mate, always have a Dear Tony question. Our viewers or listeners send in the question and we try and give them a bit of advice as uncles. And this one, it's Dear Tony, I've just moved to Sydney from the UK. So this is perfect. We've got 2 Sydney siders here. I've just moved to Sydney from the UK and I'm looking to find a rugby club good for rugby and also getting on the piss. Which is the best club to join? And also, second part, what are the top three first date activities to take a girl in Sydney? And that's not where all the fuck boys take girls. Thanks. So 2-part there. We'll start with what club best for rugby and also getting on the piss?
I mean, I'm gonna have to stay home. Definitely Randwick Rugby Club if you're gonna pick a club. Location. It's Coogee Oval. Don't let them swindle you to selling the dream, and then you're on the M4 for 40 minutes going that way. Parramatta, respectfully, that's really far from the water. Definitely Randwick Rugby Club. You get the quality of football, quality of blokes, and the piss is good, especially if you clean sweep on a Saturday. 3 date spots that aren't notorious for being sort of fuckboy date spots.
You got to take it to a side place that's not burnt down. That's one.
Whoa, mate! That's
whoa.
Oh, look,
no,
the news, man. Yeah, look.
First dates.
Oh,
you got any tips?
I reckon. Oh, that's a tough one.
Burnt house?
I've been on it. Yeah, burnt house. Yeah.
No,
bowling. I reckon bowling's good. Bowling's fun. I've been on a few first dates, not in a long time. My fiance's not hearing this. I actually took her on a bowling one. I think bowling's good.
Dave's very quiet over there. Very awkward.
Yeah, Dave, you would have Tavita, don't get quiet.
Mate. Yeah, we should have half this question in 2. I answer the drinking bit, and then you do the first date ones. But anyways, I reckon.
What do you answer? You've been on more first dates than me in the last 5 years. So why don't you give us some of your options?
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, anywhere you don't have to
pay. I reckon the driving range, a walking date's actually quite nice nowadays. Down the east coast to walk. That's free. The other one.
Treating it.
The other one.
I can just imagine. He took me for a walking date. So nice. No food, nothing.
Yeah,
that sounds like hell for you, Dave.
Exactly. It does. Walking date's a good thing. We're giving this bloke advice, all right? Walking date's in the east. The other one is the driving range. But if you're really good at golf, you don't do that. But if you're average, driving range always nice and fun. Because Yazzy's already did Randwick, the other club, if you had to choose in terms of socials, good rugby, good spot, I reckon Manly. Manly's a good spot by the beach. The boys over there are pretty fun. They've got pretty good watering holes in there. So if you wanted a second option, Manly could be a good one.
Nice. Very awkward trying to get away from all the dating questions, Dave. But maybe we'll have to get a therapist on for the pod one day for Dave. But yeah, I think the boys covered it there. Hopefully they answered your question. If not, go ask Jeeves or Google, mate, or ChatGPT. She can hook you up with some prompts there. But boys, thanks for calling in. Before we go, shout outs. Yazzie, kick us off. You got any shout outs?
Shout out to my new club, Waverley Rugby Club.
Let's go.
And my fiance's cooking page, Taste of Tony, on the Instagram. Dave's a big Dave loves those recipes.
All right,
Taste of Tony.
Taste of Tony. Taste of Tony.
Taste of Tony. That's right.
Yeah. Taste of Tony. That's my shout outs.
Before we go to you, Dave, make sure if you're listening, go to Taste of Tony Instagram page, and whatever the latest post is, go in the comments and make sure you comment. Thank you, Tony. Let's see if anyone actually does it. But Dave, any shout outs?
My shout out this weekend is going to be to my Waratahs. Tough loss last weekend. But hey, a week's a long time in footy, brother. So we've got the Brumbies back home, and good luck to them. And hopefully my fake mate, Daniela Dubol, can come and jump on that podcast, please.
Yeah. 2 weeks is even longer, mate, if you lose again to the Brumbies. Tino, shout outs.
Shout out to the Reds.
Let's go.
Put on a big performance. I think this is a showcase for State of Origin, but I wish there was a 3-test series for the Reds before the season begins anyway, because I want to see that clean sweep. But I just got a shout out. That's my only shout out this week.
Shout out. And my shout out is to our first ever sponsor of the pod, Budgie Smuggler. We had our 150th episode 2 weeks ago, and I was down in Sydney and got gifted a nice little custom Budgie Smuggler. So shout out to the crew at Budgie Smuggler. Love your work, guys. And
is that for you?
Yeah, it's got my name on it.
Hold it up again.
No disrespect.
Yeah, nice.
Size pretty crazy. Size 30. Thanks for that, mate. But Yazzie, thanks for jumping on, mate. We'll definitely have to get you on again. Maybe when we're interviewing some of the Ranwick boys as well. But mate, good luck at Waverley. We have to get down to, especially if they got a Waverley Ladies Day. Not for myself because I got a missus, but for Dave, just to see how it goes around the ladies. But thanks for jumping on, Bruss, and we'll make sure you're in those Dubai Sevens team list. And thanks to the team at Guard Up. Make sure you go and follow them, and also Cooking with Tony. What's the
Taste of Tony?
Taste of Tony. That was okay. Thank you, Tony. Okay,
might have to jump on. Taste of Tony is a new sponsor.
Yeah. But yeah,
I like that.
Thanks, boys, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thanks, boys.